Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Pluto Conjunct the South Node in the natal chart. And some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing is, if you have Pluto Conjunct the South Node in the natal chart, one way it may manifest is that there may be tremendous passion, a desire, and emotional intensity, which is Pluto, associated with matters with what you're naturally proficient in, which is the South Node. Now, if you have, let's say, the South Node, is in Virgo as an example, things that you're naturally proficient in can include things of an analytical, intellectual nature, things that are detail-oriented. It could be matters with health and fitness, organization, compartmentalizing, or even a Virgo-related field or profession, whether it be something connected with health and fitness or analytics, statistics, extrapolating or compiling data. Could be doing something with data entry or working as a nutritionist or dietitian, computer programmer, as some examples. Now, also, too, Pluto Conjunct the South Node in the natal chart may also be expressed in intimate connections and those that you're in shared resources situations with, which is Pluto, may play an integral role in your past, which is the South Node. So those people may figure very prominently in terms of your past and what you were doing at that time. And really, the first half of life is really connected with the South Node, say like the age, up to age 30 or 35 or so. So let's say, if you have Pluto, in Libra as an example, though generational, I would still think that most, one or more, those people you're in intimate connections or shared resources situations with may actually be a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be those that are very, charming, refined, tactful, diplomatic, cooperative, compromising, equitable, fair-minded, maybe overly indecisive and ambivalent as well, though. And also, too, another way that this aspect may manifest in the natal chart is that the past, which is the South Node, may be connected with insurance, recycling, investigation, forensics, or the occult, which includes astrology, which is Pluto. Now, if the conjunction is in Sagittarius, as an example, this may be flavored with more exuberance, enthusiasm, optimism, expansiveness. If this conjunction is in Scorpio, as another example, flavored with more, passion, desire, resourcefulness, and emotional intensity. Now, also, too, you may be extremely passionate and sometimes even obsessive and fixated, which is Pluto, and doing things that are associated with your natural built-in abilities, which is the South Node. Now, let's say if the South Node is in Capricorn, as an example, natural, built-in abilities may be, tied in, with structure, constructing things. It may involve math. It could have to do with planning ability. It's maybe something Capricorn related, whether it be, architecture, construction, accounting, dentistry, masonry, general mundane work, information technology, timekeeping, as some examples. Now, also, too, issues that you may have that are associated with power and control, which is Pluto, and maybe something you need to get away from. Now, naturally, anybody that has any issues associated with power and control, they need to get away from that. But if it's such as being overly domineering or controlling, but in a situation. But the thing is, with this aspect, it may be more, emphasized, accentuated, and pronounced compared to most others. Now, if you have, the thing about this is, if this, let's say, it's a conjunction, is in Capricorn, this might be, connected with some, strong position of authority, or maybe there's something, it could be with the supervisor. I would say doesn't necessarily mean that it's issues, personally that you may have, with yourself with power and control, but it could be a situation with power and control. If the conjunction, let's say it's in Sagittarius, maybe there's something, or Pluto in Sag, it may be something, connected with some publishing or advertising firm, or maybe there's an issue of power and control over those matters, or it could be with foreigners, or, something with higher education or religion, as some examples. Now, also, too, at some point in time, there may be a removal of just the South Node, because the South Node can reflect, what we're going away from. It's also, it's less, I would say, as opposed to more. So there can be a removal, which is the South Node, associated with the colon, the bladder, the prostate, the urinary tract, or reproductive system, which is Pluto. Now, the thing is, I don't know if there's really, as far as the urinary tract or reproductive system, if there could actually be a removal of that. You'd have to confirm and check that on the internet. But the thing about that is, you may want, what I was going to say is, there might still be issues with that, or maybe there was, that something with those things that I just stated may not be, something at some point may not be as functional or work, the way it needs to. There might be some issues with those, with the urinary tract or reproductive system, because again, the South Node is about what's less than. So, also, too, there may be jealous, obsessive, manipulative, and even vengeful qualities, which is Pluto, that you may need to leave behind, which is the South Node. Now, I understand, anybody that has those qualities, they may have to leave it behind, regardless of aspects in their natal chart, but something with this aspect that may be more emphasized, accentuated, and pronounced more so than, most other aspects in a natal chart. So, let's say if Pluto, or the conjunction is in Scorpio, that might even more, reinforce and, basically reaffirms, because Scorpio, is connected with those qualities as well, since Pluto does rule Scorpio. Now, another thing too, let's say, another way that this aspect may manifest in a natal chart is that Pluto-related people may figure prominently in what you are going away from, which is the South Node. Now, Pluto-related people covers a number of persons, whether it's those who are in intimate connection, shared resources, scenarios with. It could be those in Pluto-related fields, whether it could be those that are in surgery, be surgeons, coroners, embalmers, people involved with the occult, which includes astrology, investigators, as some examples. And if the South Node, say, as an example, is in Capricorn, what you're going away from, it could be very cold or callous tendencies, or being overly, authoritative. Maybe it's just emphasizing career-related matters too much. It could be going away from just being overly, structured with things and not willing to get out of the box, being too rigid in matters, being overly conventional, as some examples. And another thing about this aspect is that transformation, control, and power within rebirth, which is Pluto, may be strongly emphasized in that first half of life, which is the South Node. Now, let's say, if the conjunction, say is in Virgo, as an example, Pluto is in Virgo. This might be, more, it might emphasize more matters connected with work and employment, and may be done, these such as rebirth, such as resurrecting a business, may be done in a very, systematic, methodical, and orderly manner with acute attention to detail as some examples. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay